Alright, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg. Welcome back to Hanging with Mangg. And I literally recorded 50 minutes of a Hanging with Mangg. So I've been playing Duelist for quite a while here. And so I recorded a whole bunch of it. And then like 50 minutes in or so, it comes up and it says, oh, you're too full of, you run out of hard drive space. And so I like deleted some stuff and I thought I clicked resume recording. Apparently I clicked delete recording and never mention it again. I don't know. So I lost the entire 50 minutes. So I don't really want, like, God, that's the worst, man. That's the worst. I could have sworn I clicked resume. So this Hanging with Mangg is probably not going to be as verbose as it was. Because I don't really feel like saying everything again. Oh, we got this. Oh, that's actually not good. That was dumb. So I'm actually probably not even going to play, really. I'm just going to kind of sit here and talk after this match. But anyways, let me just kind of go through the bullet points real quick. So, for the channel, we did a lot of Cyberpunk stuff. We did the role manging, Deus Ex, Shadowrun, other Shadowrun, Hacknet, and that's pretty much what's going to happen this coming week as well. It's all kind of continue as I juggle all the different Let's Plays and so on and so forth. But specifically, in regards to role manging, like, when I originally told this, I talked for like 20 minutes about it. That's not going to happen, so I'm going to just quickly sum up. But basically, Ziggy feels that he kind of made a mistake in picking Shadowrun for this campaign. That's what his opinion was. He feels like that he didn't really blend with the mechanics as well as he thought, and he's not as immersed into the setting and everything as he, I guess, should be. And so, he originally said, like, after the first session that he was going to play a little bit longer. Like, he was going to DM for a little while, but he wasn't sure how long. But then last night, he's like, how soon can you be ready to take over? Because I had mentioned that I plan on maybe DMing a Shadowrun campaign involving gangs and stuff like that. Low-level gang warfare in the Redmond Barrens, which I talked about for length in the original video, but I'm not talking about now. You'll just have to kind of wait and see. So, to sum up, don't be shocked if next Sunday or something is like something like that, we switch over to my campaign of Shadowrun instead of Ziggy's. That's kind of the big summary. That's what it is. It's unfortunate because I really definitely want to play Shadowrun more than like I want to play anything else right now, but I'll settle for DMing Shadowrun if I have to, I guess. Also, this game has been going on forever, and I would like it to finish because I just want to talk. Okay, so that's as far as the channel goes. As far as board gaming goes, mostly Jungle Speed. We played a lot of Jungle Speed again. Like 3 different days involved Jungle Speed. And I had recently picked up the Jungle Speed expansion, which I had gotten directly from Japan, believe it or not. Because that was the only version that I guess worked, that fit with my other cards from America. And the Jungle Speed expansion is absolutely insane for insane people doing insane things. Because there are many, many very similar cards. This guy's at full health. What am I doing? Let's just concede. There's no way I'm winning that. So yeah, we played a bunch of Jungle Speed. Very intense game. I could have, I guess, recorded it for board manging, but unless you can see all the cards very visibly and you're like in it, like you're in the whole thing, it's not very probably exciting to watch. Occasionally just doing like mad grabs for the totem. Sorry, now Ziggy's messaging me about Shadowrun info. So yeah, a bunch of Jungle Speed. I mean, for like 10, 12 bucks or whatever it is, like that's definitely worth its value. if not our most played game, it's going to be our most played game not too long from now. Then we also played Double Feature on Saturday night, in which Double Feature is a game I just picked up this week. It's like a movie-based game. It's based around movie guessing. And so a lot of movie-based games are like Seen It, where it's kind of like trivia. Where it's like, do you know this movie? You don't? Go fuck yourself. This isn't really like that. This one is based on movies that you have seen. So how it works is basically you flip over a couple of different cards, and all the cards correspond to a different category related to movies. So like the setting of the movie, themes of the movie, production, like the title of the movie begins with a certain letter, or characters in the movie, blah blah blah. So you flip over 2 cards, and whoever can guess the first movie blurted out that matches the criteria. So you might have a movie that takes place in the West, or the South, or whatever, and it has either a yuppie, a hippie, or a zombie in it. Like, it's kind of broad, and so if you can name a movie that takes place in the West that has a zombie, a hippie, or a yuppie in it, boom, say it out loud, and you get the card, you get the point, blah, 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 keeps going, so on and so forth. Pretty interesting game. I think you do need to have some movie knowledge, but, yeah, I mean, if you have, like, encyclopedic knowledge of, like, thousands upon thousands of movies, yeah, you're probably going to win. But most people kind of get stuck up on some things. So, yeah, I think it balances out for different people more than a lot of movie trivia-based games do. So that was fun, but mostly Jungle Speed. That included today, in fact. We played more Jungle Speed. I wanted to play Cosmic Encounter because we had 7 people, which is more than we've had in a long time. So I wanted to play Cosmic Encounter, but Ziggy and his wife were there. And so I did say at some point that I would never play Cosmic Encounter with the 2 of them again, and I guess we hold up to that. Even though I probably would have played Cosmic, but all right. So we played Good Cop, Bad Cop. We played a few rounds, like 4 rounds of that, and that's kind of another one of those hidden roll, blah blah blah, bluffing kind of games where you're trying to figure out who's who. It was popular with the Dice Tower Network a little while back. They were all talking about them playing that. It is pretty good. I think I do like it better than Bang the Dice game, better than Bloodbound. I don't have enough experience with the Resistance to really say one way or the other, but yeah, it's decent. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, I like the whole concept of bluffing and things like that. Like, that really appeals to me, but like hidden roll games don't. I think it's a really tough balance. Because if it's just pure bluffing, it's just like he said, she said. It's like, well, I'm not like Werewolf, like the original Werewolf, which way back, you may remember me talking about playing that around a campfire, and I said I was really good at it, because that's really just pure bullshitting. It's basically just somebody like, you're the werewolf, and you just say, no, I'm not. I mean, there's more to it than that, but a lot of it comes down to just that. It's like, no, I'm not. You're the werewolf. It's just kind of like, okay, well, we can't settle this. So, I don't know. Original Werewolf. But we played it real vanilla style. Like, real people that really didn't even know how to run it. It was basically just, here, you're a bunch of you are villagers, and there's 2 werewolves. Go. Whereas if you get, like, Ultimate Werewolf, you get all these sorts of different roles and things like that to kind of mix it up. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. I like Good Cop, Bad Cop. I'd play it again, but I'm not like blown away by it or anything like that. Okay, that's pretty much board gaming for the week. So, let's get to the meat of the story that I was talking about for like 20 minutes before I got cut off. Again, this is probably going to be a quick hanging with Mangg because I'm sick of talking. And this is before I have to do Shadowrun. Alright. So, let's talk about Applebee's though. Applebee's, you know it. I know it. We all love it. It's great. It's Applebee's. But there is shit. There is a shitstorm stirring at my local Applebee's. And we are dubbing it the Sliders War, or the Great Sliders War, depending on your perspective. And it involves, of course, sliders. And so I will recap, because I basically started this whole thing. I'm responsible. I'm the whoever the guy was that murdered the Duke or whatever at World War I. Whoever the guy that fired that shot, that's me for the Great Sliders War. I'm not up to snuff on my history, but you know what I'm talking about. Franz Ferdinand, whoever killed that guy. Anyways, so way back, months ago, before they changed their menu, there was harmony at Applebee's because they had a wonderful, wonderful half-price app menu that included nachos, which were my favorite, which were basically like a bag of tortilla chips covered in stuff that was great. Loved it. They had quesadillas on the half-price app menu. They had more stuff, including sliders, which were like 3 mini hamburgers with fries. Boom, boom. It was like $4. It was great. I actually didn't get it that much early on because I just loved the nachos so much. But anyways, they all loved it. Harmony was in the land. However, disharmony arose because the menu was changed. And with the change, they basically butchered the half-price app menu. Gone were the nachos, gone were the quesadillas, gone were the sliders. Now, the nachos were still on the menu, full price, but they were brisket nachos, which basically tasted like a horse's ass. Same thing for the sliders. They had like brisket sliders, horse's ass. Quesadillas, they might just still have... No, actually, I think they might have changed the quesadilla. God, that was so terrible. There was disharmony. And we kind of rebelled a little bit. We thought we were done with Applebee's because of this dramatic change. We even cheated on it a little bit. We went to TGI Fridays a couple times, but we just weren't happy. So we went back to Applebee's, which was just what we knew, and we kind of just suffered through it. And one night, you guys probably remember this, I talked about this. One night, which this is where I got to meet my favorite waitress there. I was in the mood for a pizza. I had a craving in my soul for pizza. Unfortunately, we were at Applebee's. And so I asked the waitress, I was like, "You guys have any pizza?" She's like, "No, not really." I'm paraphrasing, of course. But on the kids menu, we have personal pizzas. I don't know if she said personal pizza. She might have said something like that. She mentioned the kids menu. I'm like, "Oh, can I get that?" She's like, "I don't know. I'd have to check." And so she had to check with the manager at the time, and still is, the general manager, Jeff. You guys know Jeff. He's a prick, and I think he collects model trains. Don't like Jeff. But she came back, and she's like, Jeff says it's against corporate policy, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bring Jeff out here. I want to talk to this guy. And I did. I talked to Jeff. I talked to the general manager. And I'm like, "I want this pizza, man. You better give me the pizza." And he's like, "You really want the kids' pizza? Do you really want the kids' pizza?" I'm like, "Yes, you give it to me." And he gave it to me. Hand-delivered me kids' pizza off the kids' menu, breaking corporate policy himself to hand-deliver it to me. And it was shit, because it was basically French bread covered in cheese. But it was the principle of the matter. It was hand-delivered to me, breaking corporate policy. And this guy did not seem comfortable breaking corporate policy. And it turns out he's not. He hates breaking corporate policy. So I had ordered some other kids' menu items, like the steak, which was basically like a little finger made of steak. It was like some kid's pinky. It was like a cow's pinky. That's what it was. It was shit. Pretty much everything on the kids' menu was shit, because it's for kids and kids don't know shit. However, we finally discovered that on the kids' menu there are 2 mini cheeseburgers, which sounds very similar to the sliders of yore. And it turns out that they are exactly like, it's the same exact ingredients in the same exact formula, pattern, everything to make sliders. They are sliders. And so we began to order them, thus beginning the Great Slider War properly. And so we started ordering them all over the place. Different Applebee's, all sorts of stuff. And other Applebee's were accommodating. But our usual one, led by General Manager Hefe, not so accommodating. Sometimes, we would get them there. And they were delicious. and we would convince the waitresses to put in the order for us. All sorts of different waitresses, waiters, whatever. We would tell, hey, just kids cheeseburgers, don't worry, just put it in there, bring it out, it'll be fine. And for a little while, it was all okay. Occasionally we got denied because they just, oh, I can't, corporate policy, Jeff, we can't do it, I'm sorry. And we're just like, God damn it. But time ticked on. Until this past Thursday, when there was, like, this was like Gettysburg or something. This was big. We go in there, and as a side note, I feel like I need to mention this. As of the last couple weeks or so, I have noticed, this is just kind of me being either paranoid or observant, depending on if it's true or not, that they have kind of been curbing where we sit. Like, we come in every Thursday about the same time, and we're very, like, they know we're coming in. Like, they know us. They all know us, all right? No matter what, they know us. They know we're coming in. They know the deal. I am sure even if they have, like, a new hostess for the night or something like that, they make sure that she knows we're coming in. And so there are two large booths in this Applebee's. I think I've mentioned this. They're kind of like the VIP booths. It's like comfortable seating. There's plenty of room. It's just where you want to be, no matter what. They don't want us sitting there. They try to not get us sitting there. One section, the one far corner booth that used to be ours exclusively, we almost never get to sit there. They never put us there. The other one that's towards the bar, not quite as good, but still considered VIP territory. They don't really want to put us there because they keep pushing the other seats. Every time we've gone in there the last couple weeks, they're like, oh, are you fine with like one of the high top tables? Let me tell you, you are not fine with a high top table. It's shit. You're basically sitting on a stool and you're near the bar, and it's terrible. It's for shit. It's for shit people. You don't want a high top. Every time they push this on us. And I don't know why. Like, we came in with like 6 people. There's like 5 chairs around these high top tables. I'm not bullshitting you. There's like 5 chairs. We come in with 6. And they're like, oh, how about a high top table? In fact, it wasn't that long ago. This is what happened. I'll tell the story from that night. One of my friends gets there first, and he tells him, oh, it's going to be about 6. She puts him in the bitch table. I may have mentioned this. I may have told this story. I don't know. I have a bad memory. But she puts him in the bitch table, which is like shoved into a corner. Really, it's a table for 4. They just put 6 chairs around it because it's the bitch table. Like, you don't want to be put there. That's where they punish you. Like, it's in the corner. You should have like a dunce cap on or something. It's just bad. You don't want it. And so he's sitting there. Actually, I had messaged him on my way to the Applebee's. I'm like, where are you sitting? He's like, oh, the bitch table. And I'm like, that's not happening. I'm not sitting there. And so I go in, and I don't even acknowledge him. Like, I don't even look at him. I just go to the hostess, and I'm like, oh yeah, we have 6. She probably knew we were together. Maybe not. Maybe she was not properly warned about all of our physical details, what exactly we look like. I'm sure our pictures are up somewhere in this place, but I don't know. And she's like, oh, and she like looks around. Like, both of the big booths are wide open. And she keeps looking around. I'm like, what are you looking at? You know where we're sitting. And she's like, oh, how about one of these high top tables? And I'm like, I didn't do that. I'm more polite than that, but I'm like, well, I mean, would it fit like 6? And she's like, yeah, I mean, it can fit 6. And I'm like, 6 big people? She's like, oh. And I'm like, I mean, a booth would be fine. And so, yeah, she took me to that booth. Yeah, she did. And all was well. And, like, as I walk past my friend, I, like, wink at him. And he later comes over to the booth. And we both very loudly, like, at the same time, like, oh, fancy seeing you here. Like, right as the hostess just walks past. Like, yeah, that's right. We're not going to bow to your will. And then, like, we only had 4 people show up overall, and, like, I'm the only big guy, so yeah, like, it was all bullshit. But I didn't say I had 6 big people coming. I was just asking a question. Anyways, so high top table, bullshit. Bitch table, bullshit. Booth is where we get to sit, but now we have to fight for it tooth and claw, and we don't ever get the really good booth, which is a shame, because that's my favorite waitresses section. So maybe she declined specifically, like she said, don't ever put them in my section. That's possible, because, let me get to the meat of the story here. Our waitress on Thursday night was, like, I can only describe her as the closest thing is like Guybrush Threepwood in Curse of Monkey Island when he gets shrunk down to like kid form. She looked like that. That's not. It's not. It sounds insulting as hell. It's not meant to be insulting. She wasn't unattractive. She just had a very vertical look to her. Like she was short, and she was like thin. But it's way more than that. Like she just had this verticality about her whole look. Like she just kind of mastered the verticality. I don't know how it worked. I can't describe it better than just Guybrush Threepwood when he gets shrunk down to kid form. That's what she looked like. But she was nice, and so on and so forth. And so, of course, we all sit there. Funnily enough, there was only 4 of us that night, even though I definitely said 6 again. But whatever. Like, they told us at one point that they want to reserve those booths for 8 or more. First of all, that's cramped as hell. You don't want to fit 8 people in one of those booths. Second of all, go screw yourself. We have 4 people. We're going to take the VIP booth. So, we of course then tried to order sliders, because we do that pretty much every time we go. We try to get sliders. This waitress says, Oh, no, I don't think I can do that. I was warned about you guys. Think about how many restaurants you go into where the waitress says, I was warned about you guys. Now, I thought right away she was being serious. Because she didn't seem like the type of girl that would just make a joke like that. It was basically her first time ever serving us. They're like, no, that's got to be serious. But the other guys thought, it's probably a joke. Like, I don't think so. So we said, well, what if you put it in as like a to-go order for our kids? Wink, wink. She's like, I don't know. I guess I can try. And we obviously, we ply her with honeyed words, of course. Where just blame it on us. We forced you. Just blame it on us if something goes wrong. Don't worry, it'll be fine. This is what we say. She's like, I can try, I guess. And she goes back. She comes back a little bit later, and she's like, oh no, I can't do it. Jeff's back there, and he said, and I was pausing right there. I was like, okay, so you didn't try because you went right up to him and you asked him. That's not what you're supposed to do. Quit asking Jeff. But Jeff knows everything. Dude, trust me. Jeff knows everything. He's got cameras, microphones. He checks every single bill, every receipt, everything. This is this guy's life. And his life is to hunt us down and get us out of here. And so she's like, Jeff said that if you want to do a to-go order, you can place it when you leave. I'm like, fuck that. We're here trying to give this guy money for his business, and he's telling us to get out of here. That's basically what he's saying. So we kind of like, all right, and we just ordered some regular stuff, whatever. We weren't happy about it. And during the evening, at some point, we wrote a very formal letter to the director of operations for Applebee's, BJ something. It was a long last name. BJ Blazkowicz, I don't know. And it was a very formalized letter that we all kind of composed together that basically said Jeff is doing a terrible job, and part of it was like, frankly, we don't know what exactly he's doing here. His sole occupation seems to be preventing us from spending money at Applebee's. And it included a bunch of lines like that. We like other Applebee's have all been very accommodating to us in our requests for kids menu items But this Seoul Applebee's, run by Jeff, the general manager, has been nothing but an obstacle. So it was a very formalized letter. We were cracking up the entire time, but we sent it off to him. We still haven't gotten a reply. I doubt we ever will. Then, at some point, we get the idea, I guess, to what about, this to-go order. This whole to-go order thing. Because they do a thing where they do car side to go, where you call ahead, you drive up in your car, and they run it out to you. You pay, bada bing, bada boom. So what about if we place a car side to go order, but we just take it inside and we eat it? We call ahead, we pick up the food, we come inside and we eat our sliders right in front of Jeff's face. And I'm like, well, you don't even need to call ahead, because I was on my phone. I was like, you can just order it online. And so I'm like, I'm going to do it. So I sat there in the restaurant and placed an online order for kids' mini cheeseburgers. I placed the whole order. I said, pick it up in restaurant, pay in restaurant. And they're like, okay, 15 minutes, you can pick it up. We sat there for 15 minutes. I sent one of my friends to go up to the bar. He got the food. He signed off on it. We brought it back, and I sat there and ate it. I'm like, mission accomplished. So like, okay, we were all like, all right, next time we come in, next Thursday, we're all just going to place the orders. We're going to sit here, and we're going to eat all of our sliders, and you can't do a damn thing about it. So, the next day, we also happened to go to Applebee's. We went to Binary, and I went to Binary because I wanted to talk to that one girl that I probably insulted on Hanging with Mangg by calling her Milk Toast. I meant girl next door. That's what I was trying to say. So I wanted to talk to her again, but she wasn't there. So it was just we played Jungle Speed and then we kind of left. We went to Applebee's. And there was only 3 of us. And so we're talking to the hostess, and she's like looking around for like where to put us. Like she's honestly like looking around right in front of us of where to put us. And we're like, my friend's like, I mean, I see plenty of booths. And we recognized one of the waitresses because she's basically a hoe, Tiffany. And we're like, oh, Tiffany's over there. And the hostess literally, she laughs. She's like, you want to be seated by Tiffany? She actually said that. She laughed and said that. And I'm like, and I asked her, I was like, why is that so funny? She never responded. She just kind of like chuckled to herself and then grabbed some menus. And like, okay, follow me. I was like, she never told me why that was funny, but all right. So she took us to a booth. We sat there for like 10 minutes waiting for somebody to come by. Tiffany never came by until some other girl came, and she's like, I don't know who your server is, but I guess I can take care of you. And it's like, they like draw straws or some shit. They don't want to come near us. This is ridiculous. And so, of course, we tried to order sliders, because that's what we do. And she's like, so we're like, oh, can we get like the kids' mini cheeseburgers? And she says, oh no, I was warned about you guys. And so at this point, I'm like, all right, I gotta know. I'm like, who's warning you? Who's warning you about us? And she's like, oh, Teresa. Let me tell you about Teresa. I'll tell you. I'll inform you. Teresa is a waitress and has been there a while. And a couple months ago or so, we were there, and she was our waitress. And we wanted sliders, of course. And this chick did not give 2 shits about Jeff and his corporate policy or none of that. She was like, yeah, I don't care, sure. Give you all the sliders. You want the secret sauce? I'll give you the secret sauce. You can have everything. And she was incredibly, she was like the most accommodating as far as the sliders goes of the entire war. Like she was like our Joan of Arc. Okay? It was great. We loved her. This is now the chick that is warning every server about us to never serve us sliders. She's a turncoat. That's what she is. She is now a traitor to our cause. We're freedom fighters, and she's joining the the occupation or whatever. And this waitress, our current waitress, she's like, yeah, like she said that they can like write us up or stuff like that for doing this, so I'm sorry. And we're like, oh, okay. And so I just ordered like a brunch burger because I was actually really hungry. But the other guys, they were not too happy about this, because now we are being warned about every time we come in, no matter what, to every server, even servers we've never had before. They inform them, like, hey, do not give these guys mini cheeseburgers. You will get written up by Jeff himself. You'll get half your pay docked. I don't know if she said that. She might have. I don't know. That doesn't sound legal at all. But definitely written up. And so this explains a lot. Like how no waitress, no server wants to serve us. Because we have been convincing them for months to get us sliders, and they're being written up over it. I don't feel bad because it's utterly ridiculous. And the sliders were good. But it's such a ridiculous concept. And so, later on, like 12:45, like the place closes at 1. So it's 15 minutes before close or so. One of my friends goes up to the bar and places 2 to-go orders for mini cheeseburgers for kids. And 15 minutes later, basically when the place closes, they paid for it, got the mini cheeseburgers, brought it back to our table, and consumed them. As they're cleaning up to close, here's the kicker. The girl at the bar that took the order, Teresa. Yeah, that would be a kicker in itself. However, what she said is the worst part, because what she said was, oh yeah, I can do that. Oh, aren't you seated over there at that table? And he's like, yeah. And she says, oh, you could just place this order with your waitress. And it's like, you know damn well that we can't because of you warning them all about us. Otherwise, yeah, we probably could have gotten away with it, but no. We have to do this runaround bullshit where we have to order things to go for our imaginary children so that we can eat them in peace at a goddamn restaurant. So Teresa was perfectly okay with doing this because I guess it didn't matter because we were about to leave. Except we weren't because we sat there and ate them. Well, they did. I was already done. And so that's now where we stand with the Great Slider War. It is ongoing. We have no intention of backing down. We could go to any other Applebee's and get all the sliders we want. Because a Saturday night, we went there pretty late. I ordered mini cheeseburgers. I got them without question. Nobody cares because nobody should care. It's food that I'm paying for. But Jeff, I think Jeff is like at the same mindset we are. Like, he can't back down. He's not going to lose this war. But somebody's got to give at some point. And we will be more creative than Jeff will. Trust us. So yeah, next time we're going to go in. We're all going to order Carside to go orders. We're going to pick them up. And we're going to go inside and eat them. He can't stop us. Technically, yes, he can. He could kick us out and ban us forever. Will he do that? Probably not. Because the retribution will be fierce and quick. I don't know what we'll do, but we'll do something. Probably nothing criminal. Because I don't think we really roll that way. But there will be picketing. There will be definitely picket signs. It would not end well for Jeff. So, best case scenario, you stop being a prick and start being like every other goddamn Applebee's in the country and give us kids menu items like McDonald's does. Does McDonald's stop you from ordering Happy Meals? Does it say, sir, are you ordering this for a child? Or are you going to eat it yourself? Like a fat pig? No, you can't have this Happy Meal. You get adult food for adults. It's ridiculous. So that's Great Slider War. There's been a lot of casualties, but we persevere. Because it's the principle of the matter. We can't let evil men like Jeff just exist and just go willy-nilly with their corporate policies. Sorry, I get very emotional about the whole thing. Yes, it is very humorous. Yes, it is hilarious that this is happening. That we are at war with a restaurant, a family restaurant, because they don't want to serve us kids menu items. It's very humorous. I'll probably tell my kids about it. But we persevere. And we will win the war. Don't worry. So yeah, that's what's happening in my life. Girlfriend? No. But I am a leading member of the Great Slider War. So I have that going for me, which is nice. Yeah, so Saturday, I'm pretty much wrapping up here. I know this is going to be a short episode, but Friday night, I recorded Mangcast. I recorded at like 2 in the morning or something like that. It was really late. Because Saturday, like my entire Saturday was I got up, I got ready, I ate lunch, and then I went to my friend's house where we binge watched the first 4 episodes of True Detective Season 2. Like, we all just sat there and watched the first 4 episodes. They're each an hour long. It was like 4 hours, we sat there, then we had a cookout, and then we went to a bar, and then we went to Applebee's. And that was like, I spent like 12 hours with them. Which is not normally how I like to spend my Saturdays. And here's the thing about like watching television together and stuff like that. I find it really tough. I am, like, I'm one of those guys that just can't really... It's probably like an ADD or something like that. Undiagnosed. I don't know what it is. But I need to concentrate. Like, I need to multitask. Like, I can't... Movies, I make exceptions for in theaters. Because there's really no option. If I want to see a movie, like a new movie, I just have to sit through it at a theater. It's just how it is. So I suck it up. But any other time, I have options. And so... 95% of what I watch, I'm doing something else while I'm watching. It probably affects, like, retention. Like, how much I really absorb of what I've seen. But it's just kind of how I do it. And a big help for me is subtitles, actually. Which is kind of an interesting thing. Because usually subtitles are for the deaf, the impaired, something like that. But I watch almost everything, except in a theater, I watch with subtitles. I don't know, you'd think it would be harder, but for some reason, if I hear something, if I read the text while it's going on, like, I can multitask much better. I don't know how it works. I read pretty quickly, which helps, but I still need the audio, because if I do, like, an anime, like, if I watch, like, an original audio, Japanese audio anime or something, it doesn't work. Like, it just breaks apart, because I can't rely on the audio as well. So I need both. I need the audio and the subtitles, and that working together means I can just do 2 things at once. And I need to do 2 things at once, because otherwise, I just I can't. There's not enough happening. There's not enough going on for my brain. And so 4 hours of sitting there watching television, with no subtitles and me doing nothing else, it was rough. It was rough. If it was like a really long season, I don't know. I don't think I would really keep it up at all. I don't think I would do it. But I only have to do it. We only have 4 more episodes, so I'll try to sit through it because all right. But yeah, so I don't know. The subtitles thing is weird. I've been doing that forever. Like, I've been doing that for so long. Before I had 2 monitors for like a computer, like way back in the day, I had like this little tiny, like it was a 13-inch TV that I plugged like a DVD player in. Or a PS2 or whatever. And so that was my second monitor. It was just a TV with DVDs and just subtitles, movies, just go. And boom, I can multitask, done. So that's, since I was like 13 or 14 or something, I've been doing that. So yeah, that's kind of a side issue. But anyways. So yeah, True Detective Season 2, I don't want to spoil it or anything like that. It's definitely no True Detective Season 1. I don't think I would ever really like rewatch season 2. I mean, I'm only halfway through it. It's good, but everybody, like people I've talked to are like, oh, just don't compare it to season 1. It's good on its own. Just don't compare it to season 1. I'm like, you're gonna compare it to season 1. It's a season 2. You're gonna compare it to the other seasons, like every other television show ever. I mean, yeah, it's a standalone thing as far as it's its own story and its own actors, but it's still the same production. You still have the same directors, writers, things like that. It's the same show. It's not like a mini series. that just gets a whole different crew together. It's kind of the same thing. You're going to compare it, and it doesn't really compare. It's just not nearly as good, which is a shame, but, I mean, what are you going to do? Yeah, that was a lot to live up to. It's good so far, but it's really jumbled. Like, season 1, it had a very clear-cut thing that was going through this progression, this mystery. This is kind of all over the place because they had, like, double the amount of main characters, and then they have, like, 3 main characters that are kind of doing their same thing, and then one guy, I'm not going to spoil this, is just doing kind of his own thing. And so it's kind of part of the same overarching story, but they're doing very different things. And it's just, there's a lot of names and things thrown about, and it's just like, And again, me without subtitles, it makes it a lot worse. Like, with subtitles, I understand, I almost never have an issue following anything. But I was watching, like, the first episode of the show, and it was just like, I don't think I know what's going on, which is very rare for me. So, yeah, that probably affects it. But, anyways, I think that's about it. We still had a pretty long episode. 41. Well, I mean, it's not long, but I've been talking for a long-ass time, trust me. Anyways. So the Great Slider War will continue. The Cyberpunk YouTube channel will continue. Our Shadowrun campaign definitely will not continue. That's just a question of when. I guess I can throw a quick summary of how my campaign would play out. Basically, there's the Redmond Barrens in Seattle, which is basically just, it's Detroit if Detroit was real shit. It's just all gangs and all squatters and homeless people and stuff like that. There's a whole bunch of different, very colorful, unique gangs that all kind of have a different theme. Like, some is just all dwarfs that love explosives, and one is like all people that think they're pirates, and one's basically like they dress in Halloween masks and just butcher people, and, you know, all sorts of different colorful gangs. And so the players in my campaign would all be part of their own little, like, very, very small time gang that they basically ran. Like, they would have like half a block of territory, and it would just be like the 4 of them as the gang members, and they would kind of have to build it from the ground up as their own big gang and take out the other gangs and, you know, get their own territory and build it up, and it would be really cool and blah blah blah. So that's my campaign. We'll see when that happens. I mean, I would guess in the near future. Unfortunately, I would much rather play, but I'll settle for DMing because it's Shadowrun and it's really cool. But yeah, I guess that's enough for me today. I've talked a lot, and I still have a lot of talking to do tonight. But, yeah. So my name is Mangg. This has been Hanging with Mangg, and I'll see you fine folks next week.